this. So I'm going to record this, so you guys will get a recording of this probably around lunchtime. And the prerequisite for this webinar is you had to have come to yesterday's Campaign Builder or understand how just the basic Campaign Builder works so that we can go the next step and go into automating decisions. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is automating decisions and letting Infusionsoft do the work. So you have a train and it has a decision to make. It's either going to go left or right, and you're going to let Infusionsoft know beforehand, based on certain criteria, what rules for the train to go right and what rules for the train to go left. And if you have not had a webinar from me before, my name is Judy Miller, and I'm going to be the host today. So what you'll be able to do at the end of this webinar is create a slightly more complex decision-based campaign. So yesterday we made a campaign that people could sign up for our newsletter, and it was just newsletter sign up, and they got a welcome email, and then they got some offers, etc. Today we're going to do a little bit more complex and add a step to that. You're going to see how to run multiple sequences in the same campaign, not on the same track, but multiple sequences based on a choice that the contact makes. And I'm going to show you how to create those rules inside a decision diamond. Some people call them decision nodes. We call them decision diamonds, and it looks like in North Carolina it's 12 o'clock noon, so welcome Sandy, and we're just getting started so you guys didn't miss anything. And again, people call them decision nodes. I call them decision diamonds. They're both the same thing. We're going to learn how to create those today. So the reason we created decision diamonds is because you want to send someone, and you want to send your contacts the right information, so it will go to the right person, so the right person gets the right information automatically. So you can set it, forget it, go to sleep, and it doesn't matter what information they want. Because of the rules that you set, it's automatically going to send the right stuff. So let me give you a few scenarios. You own a gym, and you want to segment your leads based on interest. They want to lose weight, they want to gain muscle, or they just want to get fit. You may be a veterinarian, and you want to segment your new leads based on the kind of pet they own. They may have a dog, they may have a cat, or they may have a small animal like a gerbil or something, and you want to send the right information based on what kind of pet they have. You don't want to send a cat owner heartworm medicine for dog information, because they'll have a less chance of opening it pretty soon because they're not getting the right information. You may be a realtor, and you want to segment your contacts based on if they're looking to buy a home or they're looking to sell a home, because your conversation is going to be different. And you want to do that automatically because you don't want to answer every single email by itself. And Deb said, sorry I'm late, but that's okay, we're just beginning. And you may be a wedding planner. I got this one last night watching The Heartbreak Kid, so I had to add this one real quick. Oh my gosh, that movie stressed me out. You're a wedding planner, and you want to know how soon the prospect's wedding is going to take place. Is it 0 to 3 months, 4 to 6 months, or 6 months and longer? Because you're going to send different messages based on their time frame of when that wedding is going to take place. If it's 0 to 3 months, you're going to want to get on it. So these are just a few scenarios, and again, I'm going to reiterate, you want to segment leads so the right information goes to the right person automatically. Because a lot of people are like, I don't need those. Why would I need those? Or how do I get those if I do need them? That's what we're going to learn today, and those are some examples of why decision diamonds are so powerful. So let's do this. I'm going to get into the Infusionsoft application, and I am recording this. What I'm going to do is hover over the Infusionsoft logo. I'm going to come to Marketing and Campaign Builder and click it one time. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the question box. That's how you'll communicate with me, because everyone's on mute. And I will get to your questions, I promise, before the end of the webinar. So we're going to add a new campaign. I'm going to click Create a New Campaign, or Create a Campaign, the green button to the right, and I'm going to name this one Yoga Info and hit Save. Once I hit Save, it's going to open up my template or my canvas, and I'm going to create a web form. Every campaign starts with a goal, as you remember, so I'm going to grab a goal, and I'm going to make a web form. I'm going to call this Yoga Info Sign Up. Name it what it is so it makes sense to you, so you can remember, oh yeah, that's the right one, that's the one I want to find. That's the form I want to copy. Hit Save, And now I want to make 2 sequences. I'm going to have a sequence here. Maybe I'll make 3. This is for a beginner yoga student. Another sequence here. And this is for advanced yoga student. And this one's for instructor courses. So there's going to be 3 choices on this form. Are you a beginning yoga student? Are you an advanced yoga student? Or do you want information about my instructor courses? Here's my goal. Here's my sequence. I'm just calling it 1, but it's really 3. And I'm not going to connect them yet, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm going to come to my goal. I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to create my form. What information do I want? I want a title, snippets, title, find out about Slim Yoga. I'm going to put a spacer here because I don't like how squishy it is. I'm going to go down to 10 spaces. I want their first name. I want their email address so that I can mark it to them. And this one I'm going to do something different and come to the field snippets. And I'm going to use this radio button right here. So I'm going to grab the radio button. I'm going to put it right under email. I can move it if I want to and move it between first name and email. And the label is, I'm going to say choose one. After I hit choose one, that's going to be the label of my button. I'm going to put down beginner, advanced. I better put beginner yoga student, advanced yoga student. And there's only 2 options. If I need another option, I'm just going to simply click this little plus sign right here to the right, and it's going to give me another one. And this time I'm going to put instructor interest or instructor information. Instructor information needed. Beginner, advanced, instructor information needed. If you need more, you take the plus. If you need less, you do the minus. Do not select any option by default, so I don't want to assume that everybody is a beginner, so I'm not going to choose one by default. And I'm going to require this so that they have to pick one. I can also come here and tag them. So I can tag this beginner if I want to tag them and put them into save searches. I don't have to tag them because now they have that radio button picked. I'll know and I'll be able to do a search based on the radio button they picked. But I can add tags if I want to and tag each person, and then you'll notice a little 1 will show up there and you'll know that each person got tagged. But I'm just going to leave my 3 buttons and then hit save. Now you'll notice that there's beginner, advanced, instructor information needed, and I'm going to change the submit button by double clicking it. Send info now. I always change the color of my buttons. And if I want this button, instructor information needed, to go all the way across, I can come here to Format, Layout, and I can make my form a little bit wider. And it still didn't do it. That's weird. I thought it would make it go across. 445. We'll just go back. This is my form. My form has a choice. They get to choose one, beginner, advanced, or instructor information needed. And it probably is, so Vicky said it's maybe the field width. It probably is a field width, and I can go change that too. I'm going to come to my thank you page. I'm just going to get rid of the image. I can put an image from my yoga studio here. And I'm going to say thanks for filling out the form. You know, you will be getting an important email shortly. And I can put any image in there that I want to by coming to snippets, and I can just add an image. Cool? Cool. Settings. If I want to get notified that somebody filled out this form, I can put my email address here. So I would just put my email address, and then whatever I put down as my subject line, that's what the email subject line will be for me, to notify me that somebody signed up. A web form was filled out for yoga info, and I'll get all the information. I'll get what button they picked, what their name is, what their email address is, and any information that I put in that form. And you always come to the code after the campaign is published, so I don't even have to go there. I'm going to come to the right-hand corner, and the little draft button that looks like a zipper, I'm going to hit ready. Ready just means that it's at a default mode. I'm going to go back to my campaign, and now I want you to watch what happens when I connect that one goal to these sequences. If I connect the goal to one sequence, you'll notice that it just makes a line. That's it. Watch what happens automatically when I take a goal and add it to more than one sequence. I'm going to hover over the goal. I'm going to grab it. And look what happened. If you notice, that little decision diamond appeared. Let me delete that. Delete this one. Here's my goal. One line, no decision diamond. Oopsie. One line, no decision diamond. Decision diamond appears. So you'll notice now that I have 3 decisions or 3 sequences, a decision diamond, and a goal. The goal is light green. That means it's at a default. These are all gray and all need to be built out. And this decision diamond needs to be built out. When I double-click the web form builder opens up. When I double-click the sequence builder, the sequences open up. When I double-click the decision diamond builder opens up. And the rules and the sequences will appear the way you put in your arrows. So the first one I made to go to Beginner Yoga Studio or Yoga Students, you can see that that's the first sequence up there for rules. The second arrow I made was for Advanced Yoga Student, so that's the second rule set up. And the third one was for instructor courses. But if I made the arrow go into instructor courses first, then beginner, then advanced, it would be instructor, beginner, advanced. That's how it would show up. This automatically opens up when you double-click the decision diamond. Then you get to make the rules. Rules for beginner yoga student. I'm going to click on the plus rule, and then I call this following the bouncing ball, because that's what I used to do when I was a little girl and watched Bugs Bunny commercials and they sang. You're just going to follow these blue highlights. If the, please select. If the form submission, option, beginner yoga is selected, you have to go all the way to the end. I want them to get the beginner yoga student information. Now let's do the one for advanced. Rule. If in the form submission, the option, advanced yoga student, you have to go all the way to the end, is selected, I want them to get the advanced yoga student. Now we're down to instructor courses. Here's the rule. Follow the blue links. In the form submission, they choose the option. You have to click on the link. Instructor information needed is selected. I want them to get this. Now you can see there's an and there. You can hit if in the form submission, they pick instructor information needed and their area code is 85234, 85235, or 85236. I want them to get this. If they chose information needed is selected and they have this tag, and this tag. If they click form submission and they have this tag and they own a cat. I mean, you can choose all different scenarios. You just need to follow all of those links and make sure that you've hit the whole string. If you didn't pick is selected, it won't work. Infusionsoft needs you to click on that. Now you'll notice when I go back to the campaign, this has a little green box around it. Little tiny green box. That little green box says it's set up, but it's not bright green yet, like this. And the reason being is you need to go in and you need to create your sequences and set them ready before this will turn green. So for the beginning yoga student, I'm going to double click on that sequence. I'm going to give them a tag. I can give them a tag beginning yoga student if I want to. And then I want to send them information about welcome beginner. I'm going to set that ready. Go back. Advanced yoga student. I may give them a tag. That's advanced yoga student. And then I want to send them an email. And this one's going to be welcome. Wow, you know your stuff. This is the advanced. So you name the email, go in and set up that email, go in and write out what you need to write out, set it ready, go back to the sequence or campaign. Now you'll notice that this is turned green, and I'm going to set up my last one. Instructor courses. I may want to tag them that they're interested in becoming an instructor, and then I want to send them an email to here is the info you requested. And then I may want to put a timer here and send them another email with maybe an application for them to fill out. Awesome stuff. Set it ready, go back. Now this is ready to be published. The form's ready, the sequence is ready. I'm going to hit publish so I can show you it at work. Seven elements are marked as not ready. That's okay. The most important part is the campaign passes functionality inspection. Hit publish, and now it will turn bright, bright green. Let's test it out. I'm going to come into edit mode, double-click the form, come up to test, put in Judy Miller. I'm going to pick beginner yoga student and hit send info now. Thanks for filling out the form. You'll be getting some important information. I'm going to get out of the campaign. I'm going to search for Judy. This is one I just filled out. And Judy should have the tag beginner yoga student. And there it is, beginner yoga student. And if that email was ready, even though I didn't edit it and set it ready, she'd be getting an email that says welcome yoga, beginner yoga student. We want to tell you a little bit about our Slim Yoga and about what to expect if you're a beginner. And that's it. You'll see that beginner yoga student, it's automatically tagged. Let's go back to the campaign. So let me show you some other things that you can do here. The beginner and the advanced, I might just want to send them a coupon to come in and take a free class. So I can put another sequence here and offer them a free class. But I don't want to offer these people a free class because they're just interested in becoming an instructor. So I may put in a form here that's going to be survey of experience. And I may just send them a survey that they need to fill out. And once they fill it out, they may get information, more information about, coming in and becoming an instructor. These people are going to get different stuff. These people are going to get different stuff because this person wants to be an instructor and doesn't want to take classes. These people want to come take classes. So I'm going to give them information and then I'm going to offer them a free class. This person is going to get information about becoming an instructor and then maybe fill out a survey. And if I like what that survey says, I may give them a call and invite them to come in for an interview. It's all based automatically on this decision diamond right here. Form created. Decision diamond pops up when you have more than one goal or more than one sequence attached to a goal, and then you can keep on going further on down the funnel based on what they choose. Let me show you a different scenario. So I'm going to hit Shift and right-click and move this up. This time I'm going to pick a form. I'm just going to call this A. I'm going to make another form. I'm going to call this B. I'm going to pick another form. I'm going to call this C. Now watch the difference. 3 forms, 1 sequence. Hey, Judy, how come the decision diamond didn't appear? 1 form, 1 sequence, 1 form, 1 sequence, 1 form, 1 sequence. I may have these forms in 3 different places, but they're all going to the same information. It may be sign up for my yoga newsletter. They may sign up on LinkedIn. B may sign up on YouTube. C may sign up from a link in an email or maybe from an affiliate, but they're all going to be streamed into the same information. Let me show you another scenario. A, information. B, information. C, information. And then I have them all coming and streaming into the same thing. Why would I do this scenario? This person may have signed up on Facebook, so I may send an email here that says, thank you, Facebook subscriber, and put on tag signed up from Facebook. This one, B, may have signed up from LinkedIn. I may put an email in here that says, thanks, LinkedIn subscriber or LinkedIn friend, and tag them that they came from LinkedIn. This person may be from YouTube. This email is, hey, thanks for signing up from YouTube, and I may tag them. Different scenarios, 1 goal goes to 1 sequence. If I had this goal going to different sequences, so they may have filled this out on LinkedIn, but this may be advanced, beginner, instructor. You'll notice the decision diamond appears. Let me move them down a little bit. They fill out this form. They make a decision. They may go into sequence A, B, or C. Start getting a little confusing. Here's goal B. They can ask for information A, information B, or information C. And then C can ask for information A, information B, or information C. And then you can see that it starts getting a little bit more convoluted. If things start getting really squishy like that, just highlight what you want to move and just move it on down, and the lines will get longer, and you'll be able to see them better. This person can pick a choice, and based on its choice, it can go into one of these sequences. B can pick a choice, one of these sequences. C can pick a choice, one of these sequences. You just have to make sure that each of these decision diamonds is set up. If you don't set up the decision diamonds and a decision diamond is on that campaign, the people are going to get every single sequence. Let me say that again. If I didn't set this up, but I had this decision diamond here, and just say I didn't set up the rules for instructor courses, if you don't set up the rules, the person that fills out this form is going to get every one of these sequences. So make sure you fill out the rules specifically so that the right person gets the right stuff. Make sense? Make sense. Two different scenarios. So I'm just holding down my Shift key and my right click. I make it a little bit smaller. Move this out of the way. Two different scenarios, one goal, 3 sequences. 3 goals, 3 sequences, but each one of these goals has a decision in it where people can choose more than one. So before I go to questions, because I told you this was going to be short, I want to show you the wedding planner scenario. Here's my form. I'm going to call this wedding planner needed and hit save. This time I'm going to double click my form. I always like to put in a title. I need a planner. First name, and I probably do want their last name, so I'll just double click and choose their last name too. This is information that I probably would need. I may need their phone number, so I can come into my field snippets and get their phone number too. But this time I need to give them choices on when their wedding's going to be. So I'm not going to choose a radio button. I can. This time I'm going to choose Other. And when I choose Other, I'm going to create a custom field. Create a custom field. My wedding is taking place. And if you'll notice, it says text, but I want a drop down. So I'm going to look all the way down until I see drop down. There it is. And now I'm going to put 0 to 3 months. Actually, I could put 1 to 3 months. 4 to 6 months. Or 7 and beyond. And the next one is a question mark. Not sure yet. This is a drop down. It's different than the radio buttons. I'm going to hit Save Field. I can require it or not require it. And now if I go to test it out, it's going to be a drop down. And based on what I choose, so if the contact chooses 1 to 3 months, they're going to get 1 to 3 month information. If they choose 4 to 6 months, they're going to get 4 to 6 month information, and so on. Pretty cool. This is a custom field, does the same exact thing except you have a drop down. The same exact bouncing ball, the same exact decision diamond, you're going to have the same exact choices. So I hope that makes sense. So remember, set up your decision diamond rules, because if you don't, it acts like a virtual bouncer. And if they don't have any rules, they are going to get every single sequence. Every single sequence will run. So you need to make sure that you set up the rules. If you have any questions, you can always go to our Help Center. And I want to show you, if you didn't come to my webinar yesterday, in our Help Center, under Videos, you'll see these little pro tips. And if you click on the pro tips, you'll see there's decision diamonds right here. And if you click on that, it's about a 2-minute video. There's one intro to decision diamonds. There's one and or logic. There's one contains or does not contain, contains this tag, and this tag. but does not contain this tag, and testing a decision diamond. They're about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and 1 minute. That's not that long, and it will show you the different kinds of logic and how to test it out. Cool? Cool. Also, inside of our Help Center, if you just type in decision diamonds, see how it showed up decision diamond and decision node? They'll both take you to the same place. There's a little video on it. There's more in depth about it. Everything that you need to know about a decision diamond will show up right here. So there's always, 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 always help for you, and you can always chat with a customer service rep 24/7 in the chat box. So let's go to questions. And if you think about it as a ticket taker at a movie, and you walk into the movie and you give them your ticket, and they go, oh, this movie is 2 doors to the right in theater number 2. The next person comes in and gives her the ticket. This movie is to the left, theater number 8. That's what that decision diamond does. It's pretty easy. I would not get crazy, crazy, crazy with decision diamonds until you understand the and or criteria. So go in there and watch those small little videos, but it shows you how you can change the information that people get based on a decision diamond that you can set and forget and not have to worry about again. So we're just at about 30 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Because if you don't, that was awfully good stuff then. So I'm just going to wait. Very helpful. Thanks, Lee. What is duplicate checking? I saw that question. I'm sorry, Felipe. So Felipe asked, what's duplicate checking? And when you're doing a form, if you come to the thank you page, you'll notice, or the settings, I'm sorry. In the settings, you'll know that it says duplicate checking. And when people fill out a form, so when you do an import, Infusionsoft doesn't check for duplicates. But when someone fills out a form, you can tell Infusionsoft to check for duplicates, and you can pick the criteria. Checking the person's first or last name and their email address. Use the person's first or last name and their email address, and this is just using the person's email address. The auto-populate. So the auto-populate is just say that you have a form, and when they fill it out, it opens up another form. And you don't want them to have to put their first name and their last name, etc. on it. It will auto-populate. Or if you have a survey like I made in that yoga instructor, if first name and last name were on that second form, it would automatically auto-populate the contact's first and last name because they were already in the system, and Infusionsoft remembers that. So I don't have to do in the next survey, Judy, Miller, I'm this age group, my wife, I don't have to fill in all that stuff because Infusionsoft is going to remember it because it was in the first form. Joanna Jordan learned a lot. Robin asked about API calls. So I do not get into API because I don't understand it. The API is when you have two softwares speaking to each other. The best way to find out more about the API is to go to if you come here to our Help Center and you click on Help Center, you can look under API. I think it might be under the Marketplace too. You could look under API in our Help Center, and it will give you all the developers' information. I'm not an API person. An API is when you have two softwares, like maybe you have Mind and Body, and you have Infusionsoft, and there's an API connection created so those two softwares can speak to each other, like translating in the middle, Spanish, so the English can understand Spanish and the Spanish can understand English. That's just over my knowledge base. But it works. So Patty said she's excited to put this functionality in place. That's awesome. And just make sure you do it real easy at first and then test it out. Leanne said, I need to play with it a bit, and we'll probably have more questions later. Will you send us to watch this again? I will send it to watch again. I will send the recording. And if you have any other questions and you don't feel comfortable calling tech support, you can always email me at basictraining@infusionsoft.com, and I will always, always, always get back to you. So Christine said, if a tag is placed on the web form and then also in the campaign area, it will create duplicates. That's a great question, Christine. If I put, let me show you. It's always best to show you. If in this form, double click, I add a tag and I add the tag yoga, you can see there's already yoga student in there, but if I create a different tag and I made a capital Y, my daughters hate the way I say capital. I don't know why I say it like that. But if I made it a capital Y, whoopsie, and in the campaign, I'm giving them a tag with a baby y or a lowercase y. So in here, you'll notice that this tag is a lowercase y, and it says beginner yoga student. Even if it didn't say beginner and it just said yoga student with the y, Infusionsoft would give them 2 tags because it doesn't recognize the big Y and the little y. But if I put in the form yoga beginner and I applied a tag, yoga beginner, and it was spelled exactly the same, Infusionsoft would not replicate that tag. It would not give them a second tag. It would just say, oh, Judy already has that tag. I'm not going to give her that tag again. But if the tag has a capital Y and then a lowercase y, Infusionsoft sees those as 2 different tags. And the way to fix that is to go back into your tags, get rid of the yoga beginner, capitalize the other yoga, and concatenate them and put them together so you only have 1 tag. Because a lot of people have capital or they have new customer and customer, and they can't distinguish between new customer and customer, so why have both of them? So they just put them all together, get rid of the new, and just have customer. Awesome question. Robin said, I noticed the campaigns we had set up do not use decision diamonds. If there are lots and lots and lots of campaigns that don't use decision diamonds will automatically appear when you have a goal that goes to more than 1 sequence. So if you're not using them, that's okay. You can just have this form, and you can just copy this form 3 times and have one on Facebook, one on YouTube. You can just copy the form like we did down here. You don't have to have decision diamonds there. You can just have this sequence go to this goal go to this sequence, this goal go to this sequence. But some people need them, especially based on area codes, or if they have house cleaned every 2 weeks by Tiffany, I need to make sure that they're only getting that information. If they don't have the tag every 2 weeks, I want them to get this information. So that's why they use decision diamonds. Thank you, Leanne. Leanne said, you're the best. I will email you if I have any questions. And thank you very much again. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Felipe. So I just want to go, before we end, I just want to make sure I go into CRM settings and show you that there's 2 different tags made. So I'm going to come into tags, and you'll notice there's yoga student and beginner yoga student. Even if this one just said beginner wasn't there, Infusionsoft is still going to read those as 2 separate tags because the capital Y and the little y. So I just want to show you that. And then Leanne said, how many tags am I allowed to have? You can have unlimited tags, as many tags as you need, as many tags as you want. Tags are unlimited. A lot of people get really caught up in tags. Tags are to organize your list and to track behavior. Only use tags that make sense to you. If you need 655 tags, have 655 tags. It's what makes sense to you and your business. Everybody's different. We don't judge. We don't judge. I should get shirts made that we don't judge on how many tags you have. That's funny, Leanne. When do you decide to create a new campaign versus one with multiple decision diamonds? Well, Patty, that's an interesting question. I choose to have different campaigns because I get overwhelmed seeing those really crazy campaigns. Let me show you one. I showed it on yesterday's webinar. Let me bring it up real quick. Dun, 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 where is it? This would drive me absolutely insane. my attention deficit disorder would go into overdrive. If you want, you can have different campaigns that start with these different goals. Because all this is, and I showed this yesterday, it's a goal that leads to a sequence. And if they reach that next goal, you can have that on a different canvas. That leads to another sequence. And then if they reach the next goal, you can have that on another canvas, a whole other campaign. And I think that's easier for me because I like to organize things more simply. This is just a lot of sequences and goals in one campaign. But it can be pushed off into different canvases and different campaigns. Just make sure you name them what they are so you can find them easily. This one, it would be really hard to find if you had an email that something was spelled wrong. You'd be going kooky crazy looking for that. So this would drive me absolutely insane, but everybody's different. And like people that are creative and people that can, or people that are engineer and analytical, they can come in here and find it real easy. For me, this would take me a year. So I would rather have it on different canvases. It just depends on your level of organization and analytics. I'm not very analytical at all. I'm very, very simple. That's what my mom used to tell me, and she was right. Let me see if there's another question. When you create more than one goal in a campaign, can you choose which goal that goes with the group of people, or should you create separate campaigns? It's your choice, Bev. If you have a group of people that hit a certain goal, you can either reach that goal and then keep them in that campaign, or you can give them a tag and then start another campaign off with that specific tag. So if they're a new customer and they reach that goal, you can either keep that going in that same campaign, or you can just give them the tag new customer or customer and then start a new campaign that starts off with that tag, and it will grab that group of people and push them into the other campaign. They're done with this one. Now they're a customer. Yay, they reached my goal. Now they're in a different campaign that's just for customers. So it's 6.5 dozen the other. It's the same thing. It's just what makes more sense to you and what's easier for you. And Patty said simple is good. I like you, Patty. I think simple is good too. Vicki said, do I need to manually change the tag when someone has gone beyond that goal? Well, there's different ways to do that. You can send a survey out. So just say I'm a beginning yoga student and I come to a few classes, so I become a customer. You can send a survey out, and that survey will say, I have come to put in a radio button 2 to 6 classes. I now consider myself advanced, and it will automatically tag them advanced. And you can delete the tag beginner. You can do it automated inside the campaign builder, but if you don't send out a survey and Judy Miller's been coming in for a month and you know that I'm now advanced, you would have to go in and manually do it to tell Infusionsoft that Judy's advanced now, because Infusionsoft wouldn't know. Cool? There's ways to automate it. You just get really deep into it because you can put in a decision diamond. If they have this tag and this tag, please put them in this sequence. And this sequence will take off the tag beginner and add the tag advanced. There's so many things you can do in here. That's why I'm saying go in and watch that, the and or pro tips, and then you'll start analyzing and think of, wow, Infusionsoft can do so much. And even when you think it can't do it, when you put it out in a piece of paper or start building it out in the campaign builder, it can do it. It does so much. And then we always have tech support to help you if you have to walk it out and think it out in your head. It can do lots of things automated, but it has to be able to know. So by filling out a survey, or by putting in a decision node, or by having them click a link in an email that says, hey, I've come to these 5 classes. I consider myself advanced now. If they click that link, they can go right into a sequence that takes off the tag beginner and puts on the tag advanced. I'm telling you what, Vicki, it can do so many things. It's just ridiculous. You just have to tell it. Set it and forget it. Cool. So thank you for joining me. I hope that this was the next step. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was the next step for Campaign Builder. Again, you guys can just send me emails at basictraining@infusionsoft.com, and I will make sure. Hi, Tracy. Tracy's in Tucson too, and I'm in Tucson this weekend. You can always email me personally. I will always find somebody to help you or get the answer that you need, unless it's API stuff, but I can show you where to go. API is just over my head. But at least I can admit that. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And that's what makes me me. So thanks for joining me. Happy Friday. I'll get this up and running and get this to you guys before the end of the day, probably around lunchtime. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope that we're done with election stuff on Facebook, and I hope the election stuff just goes away and we can just enjoy our weekend and enjoy football and enjoy the fall. So I will talk to you guys. My next webinar is on Tuesday, CRM, Managing Contacts. If you like the bonus webinars, let me know, and I'll start having them on Fridays. I can have as many webinars as you guys want and you guys need. So just email me and let me know, and I will create them. And I dream about them, and then I have to go in and put wedding planner. Oh my gosh. So yay, bonus webinars. Okay, Deb, you got it. So thanks, guys. Hope to see you guys next week. And again, basic training at Infusionsoft.com. You can ask me any questions that you need. Thank you. Bye-bye.